In happy anticipation of the evening, he finally blackberried around 8 o'clock. To Samantha Joyce, SR Joyce at gary.senate.gov. From Aaron Driver, AI Driver at bremen.senate.gov. Subject, why aren't you with me right now? Text, lovely Lady Riley, we're at the Tombs. Up for it? The Tombs was a Georgetown bar in Georgetown. In other words, a very collegey bar. But it was fun when it wasn't too crowded, and it served kick-ass jalapeno poppers that I developed a mild addiction to my first few months in DC. I was a little confused as to who the we was and why the we was at a bar when I'd been killing time uncontacted for the last few hours, but I decided to just put on some lipstick and head over. I'd find out soon enough. I should have known when I got thrown up on before I even made it into the bar that it wasn't going to be a good evening. It happened just as I reached the steep flight of steps that led down into the Tombs. Two young guys were propping up a third cohort between them as they made their staggering way to the street. I caught a glimpse of their Lode's greenish face just as his tortured eyes met mine, and he blanketed my upper torso in a sloppy coat of vomit. It was less gross than it could have been, since my projectile barfer had apparently only consumed massive amounts of alcohol in the last several hours, translating into a purely liquid attack. Still, it wasn't that fun. I stood there dripping for a moment as my assailant beamed an apology from his miserable eyes before stumbling off towards his dorm. My cab driver, who'd been counting his tips after letting me off, quickly swerved off down the street lest I try to get back in for a trip home for fresh clothes. Apparently, my puke-covered money was no longer good enough for him. I examined my options. To hail another cab, get home, change, and return could take up to an hour with Saturday night traffic and wardrobe indecision. Taking the subway was not an option, as the city planners had annoyingly neglected to put a train stop in Georgetown. It hadn't been an oversight. They had allegedly bowed to pressure from the wealthy upper-crust residents who wanted to insulate their territory from too much contact with the hoi polloi. The most elite parts of democracy's capital city were the most difficult to access. At the moment, I found this irony incredibly inconvenient. I called Liza for a consultation. You have to go home. That's disgusting, Sammy. But it already took me a while to get here, and I really just want Sammy. Liza didn't use her stern tone that often. She reserved it for when serious etiquette crimes were about to be committed. Alright, fine. I'll call you later. I hung up, resigned to trudge down to M Street to try and hail a cab. But it had already been 45 minutes since I got an Aaron's message to come meet him. So I at least wanted to pop in and inform him of what was going on with me. Surely he cared. On the other hand, as Liza had emphasized, I was covered in gross vomit and not looking so hot. Perhaps I just blackberry. To Aaron Driver, AI Driver at bremen.senate.gov. From Samantha Joyce, SR Joyce at gary.senate.gov. Subject, read, why aren't you with me right now? Text, currently right outside the Tombs, but have had an accident not of my own doing, I swear. Must return home to change. Want to come with? Sammy. I sat down on the steps to wait for his response, which I felt confident would entail his momentary appearance by my side. After 10 minutes and 3 different people asking their friends, what do you think happened to her? I still hadn't heard from him. What the hell was he doing? Hadn't he gotten my message? Who or what was more important than responding immediately? I stormed down the stairs, stopping in the bathroom to cleaned myself up a little bit before making my way angrily to the bar. I found him there, doing tequila shots with a group of people of whom I recognized as Bremen staffers. The fact that Aaron worked with them was irritating enough. Must he willingly socialize with them too? I felt myself scowling. "Sammy," he shouted after I tugged on his elbow. "We need one more shot," he shouted at the bartender. "No thanks," I said through gritted teeth. I'd been doused with enough drinks for one night. Didn't he notice I needed some non-alcoholic assistance? "Did you get my BlackBerry?" I inquired, completely ignoring the people around us. I didn't like them anyway. "Huh?" he asked, trying to hear, but not too hard. He was definitely drunk. The place was pretty packed, which was certainly not the way I liked it. I'd enjoyed the sweaty, frantic feel of college bars when I'd been in college, but now it just made me tense. "Hey, what happened to you?" he asked when he finally really noticed me. "Some guy threw up on me," I answered. "That's gross." He paused to let this sink in. "But what I meant was, where have you been? We've been here since 3:30, he clarified, if it was possible to clarify while slurring one's words. 3:30 that afternoon? I'd still been at the office then. I'd assumed he'd still been working too. Okay, deep breath, maintain calm. "You didn't get in touch with me until 8 o'clock, so I haven't been here because I didn't know you were here," I said, trying to keep my voice as unshrill as possible. "Huh? Sorry, thought I buried you earlier. Must not have gone through." He looked unfocused. Still hot in a hazy way, but definitely out of it. I was jealous of the people he'd been hanging out with and annoyed that Aaron hadn't called me sooner. Why didn't he want to hang out with me? Wasn't I fun? What wasn't fun about me? Alright, maybe there were some unfun things about me at this exact moment, but they could be explained away. "Well, I'm glad you guys have been having such a party," I said, in a tone that indicated I wasn't at all pleased by that fact. "I hate to break it up, but I've got to go home. Are you coming with me?" Even as I said it, I knew it was a bad move. If I was out partying with my friends, would I want to stop the good times to appease a spew-covered harpy who'd done nothing but yell at me since arriving on the scene? Probably not. But I argued in my head, what if that spew-covered harpy was a significant other whom I cared for very much, possibly even loved? Didn't that change the equation? I decided not to dwell on the question of why I'd be dating a spew-covered harpy in the first place. I was still working through my feelings on the subject when Aaron batted at my arm. "Come on, don't be mad. Stay and have some fun with us," he grinned beseechingly at me. "I'll find you some new clothes." "Hey, you!" he shouted at a guy wearing a Hoyas t-shirt and balancing 2 pitchers of beer on a stack of cups as he passed by. "I'll give you $20 for your shirt," Aaron said as he took out his wallet. "I'm leaving, Aaron," I said pointedly. "Wait, baby, I'm gonna get this for you so you don't have to go home and change," he explained as he tugged on the stranger's sleeve. "Dude, get off me," the Hoyas guy yelled, flinging out his elbow and pushing Aaron into a table. "What's your problem?" Aaron shouted after him. Then he looked at me and started laughing. "Sorry, baby, hold on. Something else," he promised. I grabbed his arm as he made a beeline for a large man wearing a sweaty underwear tank top. I didn't view that as a big improvement over my current outfit. and it certainly wasn't an item of clothing worth $20 or a beating. Stop, Aaron, I urged. Forget it. I don't want someone else's shirt. He looked at me perplexed. I realized that he was nowhere near close enough to understand me at the moment. I might as well save my wrath for when it could have a greater impact. If you're having such a fantastic time here, why don't you just stay? I suggested bitterly. Sounds good. Bye, baby, Aaron agreed much too quickly.